All right, today with Trees to Firewood, we're going to be talking about firewood, the different types of firewood, the different qualities, and what to look for when purchasing or even selling firewood for what you're going to be burning or your current inventory or getting ready for the next winter. So, as you can see, I have 5-6 pieces here of wood here, different species. So I have from kindling to unseasoned to seasoned to bigger pieces to boiler wood. And so obviously each piece here has a different type of purpose in what you're going to be heating or burning. So we'll just start down the line and go from there. And so these are going to be some of the things that you should be looking for or be kind of knowledgeable about when you're actually going to purchase some wood if you have no idea what you're going to be burning. So you kind of need to know what your fireplace or wood stove or boiler can handle size-wise, dimensions, how thickness, length. So, but the industry standard is usually 16-inch lengths for like a wood stove or a fireplace. So this is 16 inches, a good size split. You can handle it with one hand. This is what you would probably typically see. This is what I sell to all my customers. I do have a couple boiler customers, and this is what they'll buy from me, the bigger sections. But we can go over why you would purchase that or this versus some of this other stuff. So this is what kindling would look like. It's a smaller piece, super dry. As you can tell, this is, you could light a match to this and this would just burn. So you could usually get a bundle of this, or if you have some wood, you could always split it down smaller. But stuff like this is paper thin. This is an easy way to get your fire going. Most firewood companies probably offer kindling, as we do as well, just to kind of help you get your fire started, get a good coal bed, and so on. This here is an unseasoned piece of wood. It's a little bit smaller, but this is what I burn for me. This is oak. This is, it's hard to tell, but this is extremely heavy. The moisture content in this is probably over 40. So you want to make sure when you're purchasing wood that it says it's seasoned wood. I mean, you could buy a moisture meter and it just jams into the side of it, but you want to kind of split it down and test the inside to get the true moisture. I mean, there's some guys, I'm sure, when they deliver them, they'll just test the ends of it, and that's always going to be drier than what's on the inside. So you kind of need to know anything below 20% is good quality wood. Obviously, lower the better. It's drier. It may burn a little quicker, but you can always dampen that with your dampener on your stove. As you can see here, this is a little bigger piece. I usually maybe intermix these with my traditional size firewood here, but there's guys out there that'll just sell this. This is their split wood. To me, this is kind of big. They take a little longer to dry. They'll take longer to burn. So depending on how dry it is, it'll burn just a lot differently. So. And then you have big pieces like this. So this is well over 16 inches in length. Obviously this will not fit in a traditional fireplace, but so you want to make sure what kind of wood that you're getting. So this would be a typical traditional boiler type firewood. You can throw in big chunks, it doesn't matter. They'll burn. It could be wet or somewhat wet, and it'll burn. You know, we call these cookies. These are like cutoffs from a logging trucks. It just not, obviously it's not long enough to split into firewood. You could, but as you can see, this is extremely dry. See all the cracks in there? So you could technically probably burn this, but I wouldn't. In a boiler, sure. Now in the new gasification boilers like what I have, I don't even burn this. I still burn this. This is what I'll burn. I'll burn that. It just doesn't burn the greatest. It doesn't give you the best coals where this does. And I have a gasification unit, so as if you see my other videos, you see what I have, and this is what I'll burn. So a couple things: size, how long has it been seasoned, the type of wood. Obviously, I could go into huge depth of the different species of wood. Like this is ash. Ash is good wood. A lot of people say that it'll like the name, it'll give you a lot of ash. It's true, but it does give you really good coals. It'll burn hot. And it's clean. Even if it's sort of wet, you can still burn it. It doesn't have that soot or creosote buildup like you would with any other type of wood. Obviously, oak is good, locust, hickory, cherry is great. You know, you can burn pine if it's really dry. I wouldn't recommend that, but to each their own. I know out west, like in say California, you really only have spruce, pine. And if it's very dry, you can burn it. You just maybe have to clean your stove a lot more often. So, and then you want to make sure that you're not just getting, this is a 12 inch 1 foot section. So you're missing another 16 inches like this guy here. So even if they have a face cord, when you stack it, it'll look like a face cord, 4 feet tall by 8 feet long. And if you have 3 rows of that, that's not a true face cord. Face cord is 128 cubic feet of total amount of wood. So if you stack this in 3 rows, that's not a true full cord of wood. So you want to make sure you're getting the right size when you're purchasing your wood, and not getting 100 pieces of this and then 200 pieces of that to give you a face cord. So a couple things to look at. So ask a couple questions. Type of wood, how long has it been seasoned, size, length of the wood, how big are the pieces. You should want to be able to pick it up with one hand. You could be 20 years old feeding your stove, you could be 80 years old. I have customers that are in their young 20s all the way up to like 80 years old still doing this with the wood. So, and I want to make sure my customers can handle it. You start bringing them bigger pieces like this, and even say there's a big chunk that's still 16 inches, you got to remember they're picking it up. So, and even if you're selling the wood, find out who your customer base is and what they're actually looking for. I've had it where I've delivered, a mixed hardwood to customers, and then I find out they're just burning it outside. Well, to me, that's a waste of BTUs. That's a waste of good wood when they should be burning more of outside wood, unless they personally requested that. So I guess, and do some research. See what your stove or your fireplace is looking to, what quality of wood that they need, and the size of it, because most wood stoves that I know of can only handle like say 18 to 20, maybe 22 inches long, or maybe smaller. Some of the old ones can only handle small pieces. So, you don't want, say you're selling wood, your customers to have to reprocess the wood, because they're going to remember that when they're buying wood again. So I guess it comes down to just what you're looking for. It's always nice to have nice kindling. Obviously, you could still use paper to light this, but this will light up pretty easily. This is nothing here. So, and then how you store the wood when you get it. You're going to want to stack it. You're not going to want to just leave it outside getting snowed on or rain. Get it out of the elements. There's different ways to stack it. Should you cover it? Should you not cover it? There's multiple debates on how to do it. So I always, once it's dry and seasoned from being out in the elements, I'll cover it, or I'll get it in a wood shed or something, or you bring it in the house as you're burning. So that's pretty much it for firewood. Really, it's pretty basic to me. I guess if you have any questions or want to know anything more about what I do and how I process things and why I do what I do, just comment down below, and we'll go from there. Keep burning.